Welcome to On the Chain.
Let's bring in Crypto Eddie. Crypto Eddie, what's going on? How are you? You're on mute. Let's get you off mute there.
Yeah, sorry about that. Hey guys, it's nice to see everybody. It was really enjoyable to sit and listen to this. It's so great to have this as a wrap up for the end of the year too. Thanks to Jeff and Chip.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the two guys, and this is what I love about Jeremy and John. They just like, you ask him, and Jeremy put out a funny tweet. He's like, Chip asked me, I had to do it. I had to, we have to do it. Do you have any kind of comments or anything you want to ask either, Jeremy or John about the case itself, or any statements?
Yeah, so I mean, you said a lot of what was going through my mind. I think we've all learned so much about the process of law, which has been valuable for everybody moving forward. We've got all this new vocabulary. We also came to the realization that social media is actually something that can function for the positive benefits of the world. We hear so much criticism about social media, and it's sometimes a kind of a tough space, but in this case, it was really a force of decentralized community that worked for the better. And I hope it gets utilized like this again. As an individual, sometimes we feel like we don't have a voice. And I felt like everybody's voice in the XRP community was heard. And then it was disseminated through all of the legal work. And Jeremy, of course, with his amazing ability to break it down, to explain to everyone what was going on. And this is a really serious situation for everybody. And the fact that he was able to inject a little bit of comedy was so valuable. And I just think everybody is so appreciative of John for the amount of work he's done. I mean, I don't think he sleeps. I would guess he probably gets less than 3 or 4 hours a night. And if you follow his schedule, where he's appearing, who he's talking to, his door is always open, and he's just given so much. So I just want to say thank you to everybody in the community, every single person who considers themselves part of the XRP community. And we're not as bad as some of those other people out there poking at us say we are. We're really not. And I think that the BIS once said we were the smartest crypto community in the space. And I think because of the help that's been given from even Jim Filan, I mean, we just, and we've got the other attorneys too that have, they're sharing too. I think, I don't know her well, and I've never spoke to her, but I follow her on Twitter. Just so many people contributed to helping us get to a whole new level. And I just want to say, thank you to everybody.
Let's go to bring in Jungle Inc. Jungle Inc. in the house. What's going on, Jungle?
Not much, man. This is great, but please tell me we're not going to have a 3rd anniversary of this thing while it's still going on.
No, we're already planning it, Jungle.
This is something that James Rule and I were joking about.
I couldn't believe at the beginning. I thought for sure this would be a quick settlement, easy peasy, write the check. And all the legal minds told us it wasn't going to be like that. And I guess that's why you guys are professionals.
Well, as you know, Jungle, if it was about enforcing the securities laws, it would have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people got to realize that's not just us. Brian Brooks, a guy who knows something, former comptroller of the United States, stated it'd take him 15 minutes or less to settle this case.
Yeah.
And so there's just much more involved about this case, but it should have. It should have.
I think we're seeing probably what the problem was when we're looking at the library case, right, John? I mean, they're not being reasonable in that case. They want that injunction, which is a big problem. And, if they want Ripple to register XRP, all sales of XRP, if they want them to come in and register, the issue becomes then Ripple's business model. And I think that's probably what the hangup is. It's just not possible for Ripple to do that, really.
2 real quick ones, John. By entering this with your amicus in the library case, do you think you can force the or help push the SEC?
Well,
is that where we're going?
Yeah, I can't force anything. I'm not a party. The judge granted the motion. The SEC didn't object. library, there may not be any future hearings or anything like that. And so if the judge has a hearing and allows Amicus to participate, then I can obviously try to ask the judge to what I've done in the papers, which is just simply say, listen, you know, your decision is being cited as the token itself is a security, because that's what has been argued in Lewis Cohen's article that I put in as an exhibit, and that secondary market sales are implicated in a permanent injunction. If you don't distinguish secondary transactions from library transactions, then your opinion could be used in a way that you don't intend it to be. And so that's the only argument. And so all I can do is try to make that to the case and hope the judge is receptive of that. The SEC's opinion is going to be, look, secondary, Naomi Brockwell isn't charged, right? That's who I represent as Amicus. And so she's not charged. And so it's not a case in controversy, Judge. You shouldn't rule on something that's not before you. And so it just comes down to whether or not he's willing to distinguish it. I'm hoping that what happened in Telegram, the judge gave a second opinion. He gave a clarification where he said, look, the gram itself is not a security. And then he made some other clarifications. And so we're just hoping for that, because we know how the SEC is going to use it. And so we're sort of at the mercy of the judge. I hope he's receptive to it. He's a very smart guy, and we'll see.
And last real quick question, then I'll get out of your way here. I was looking through the exhibits where the SEC was challenging your filing in the Ripple case. In one of the exhibits, it was this blurb about how Hinman can't use staff for his own personal work, essentially. It was part of a text message that was sent to George, who I assume is the lead attorney for the SEC. And someone put on there, George, what are you guys smoking over there? Do you have any idea who sent that text message to George?
No.
Okay, I'll send it over to you guys later so you can look at it.
Yeah, I'd be interested. I'd be interested to look at it. I mean, the real exciting thing, I guess, that's left other than a decision, right? That's the most exciting thing that's going to happen in the case, is whether or not there will be the Hinman emails and the drafts, whether or not that will be redacted, because there obviously some of them are exhibits. They're referenced to in Ripple's reply of their final brief. And so whether or not we get to see them, that's probably going to be the most exciting thing before the verdict.
Great. All right, guys. Well, I'll watch from the back. Thank you.
Another legend here. This is JamesRuleXRP. What's up, James?
Hey, I had to
James
take
Rule.
myself off mute. Hey, everybody.
The X-Punk shirt.
Hey, here we are representing, man, the XRP legend. I tell you what, I'm honored to be here tonight, and I just want to thank you guys for inviting me. John Deaton, Jeremy Hogan, the two GOATs out there that have done more than anybody else could have done in this community. John Deaton, man. I mean, we go back, and the fight that you guys have been fighting, this whole community has been fighting, has just been incredible. I'm not really much for words. I'm just blessed to be a part of this community, to be a part of the crypto sleuths. John Deaton, crypto law, all that. You've been getting all this information out to the masses. Jeremy, I love your videos. Hopefully we'll see a few more snuck in here. But the question I have, and, you know, we could talk about, hey, when is this lawsuit going to end, blah, blah, blah. We don't know. But the question I have is with the SEC and the CFTC saying that we're going to rely on Congress to make the rules, after watching the two hearings last week and seeing that members of Congress have no clue what blockchain technology and DLT is, I mean, how is this going to happen in the foreseeable future?
Well, I think that you saw two very different hearings. You had the Senate hearing was a joke. And you have this, I mean, you have the chairman of the Senate Banking Committee, Sherrod Brown, talking about stopping crypto, right? Banning crypto altogether. And he puts an actor and then Kevin O'Leary as the speakers. I mean, how are they going to educate anybody? And then when the House hearing was more substantive, There's no doubt about it. And so, you know, I don't want to get political because I'm truly an independent. You know what I mean? I really am. I just usually vote the incumbent out, whether they're Republican or a Democrat. But it's a scary thought to think that had the House not flipped, and you had one party, and it's seems to be the anti-crypto party, to be completely in control when the banking chairman's talking about banning crypto. I mean, first of all, you can't ban it. It's a worldwide global thing, but it's scary. But that's the point of what Jeremy and I and others on this show have been saying for 2 years of how important this Ripple case is, because we're not going to get legislation that passes the Senate and the House and signed by the president in the next 6 to 9 months. It's just not going to happen, you know. And so what you're going to get is de facto regulation vis-a-vis the Judge Torres's decision, you know, and who knows, but that's my position on it.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.